getting jacked and stacked mentally, physically, spiritually, working on ourselves, body, mind, and soul, embodying that philosophy so that you manifest it. This is my philosophy manifested. You understand that, guys? Yeah. I don't know how this sounds now with a mic in my neck, but I have a training book too. Pick it up, it's in the description. Yo guys, Coach Theo here on Common Sense. Just want to remind you guys, we're having a 20,000 subscriber Q&A live stream on Sunday at around 3 or 4 p.m. Swedish time, Central European time. You know, I'm actually thinking right in the middle there, probably 3:30 p.m. I've already collected quite a few good questions, but please keep them coming in the comments, guys. You know, I don't do streams regularly right now, but I do love them. And when we're celebrating like this, if possible, I'd love to go long. So the more questions I have to start the stream, the better, okay? So today, I'm not quite sure what I'm going to title the video. You know, common dilemma for the YouTuber. Do I pick the title that's most relevant to the subject or the title that people will click? So some videos is just great, you know, that a catchy title just happens to be relevant to the topic. So we'll see. But what I want to talk about is how philosophy is something practical, okay? It's a way that you embody, you live it. It's not just about nice sounding words, smart reasonings or something like that. That's part of it. If you're a philosopher, you embody, you live your philosophy, you gotta be able to bring it, explain it, communicate it to other people. But if your philosophy, if all it's about is reading books, thinking and writing and maybe talking about it, it's just intellectual masturbation, okay? Related thing is application over education. Subchapter in my book, by the way. Pretty much, it's like, it's great that we have all these resources to be able to educate ourselves on something that's new to us, but at a point, stop reading so fucking many books, put them down and go do the thing the book is actually about, okay? That's what it's actually about, okay? Then I also want to tell you about my personal favorite philosopher, this guy, okay? This could seem like one of those times when I ramp up the arrogance and just toot my own horn, but as always, I want you to think that you're your favorite philosopher. We'll get to all of it, okay? But basically, guys, it's a thing with philosophy, and human beings, especially in this modern time when we're so comfortable, we don't really have to do much to survive physically, and we're consuming so much info, we're just listening, taking in so much, right? It's so easy for us human beings that things that are connected, we disconnect them and then focus on the thing it's not really about, right? Like philosophy, like I said, there's got to be a part when we talk about it and explain things and that. But these things we talk about and explain, it's really like things we're supposed to do, like things, guidelines, morals, actions we're supposed to do based on this thing. It's not just about, oh, I've read so many philosophy books. See, I can cite, I know all these theories. It's like, okay, but how much of that do you embody in your life, though? Another example, just so you get what I mean, social media, right? It's supposed to be an extension of us human beings. We're social creatures, right? So just the way that we would interact and share some things going on with our life with others, we can just do it online. We can reach further, right? But we like to feel like validated, that other people like us, and that they think we're cool or we're doing interesting stuff and all that. So we like getting that attention, we like getting the likes and stuff on social media. So many people, instead of just trying to live a good life and sharing some of it, it's like they're trying to share something that they think will make people think that they're living a good life and having a good time. See this nice dinner we're having, see our family here. Doesn't matter that we're actually miserable because we got a bunch of likes, you know. Now it seems like we're doing well, even though we're doing super poorly, right? So yeah, people confuse this, and it's the application over education thing. It's like, it feels rewarding. It's like, it's good to educate yourself to a certain point, but then it feels good because it's fake dopamine. It feels like this, yeah, I'm watching this stuff, and yeah, you know, this, if it's fitness, you know, it's going to lead to weight loss and this physique and that. But it's like, it's not watching videos that is going to get you jacked. It's like, it's watching some good videos, taking the ideas, going and trying them. That's a practical philosophy. All right, and this about me being my favorite philosopher, what the point kind of is that you're supposed to, when you think for yourself and you do, when you act, you try to learn and improve on things, it's like you're inevitably going to learn things and think and have these insights for yourself, right? So when you live in a certain way, like that's the way I feel. Like I find myself and what I do so interesting, you know. I know so many things that I think about constantly. Like most people would not have no fucking idea what I'm talking about. I do love my Greek teacher, Eva. Hello, Eva. Because she's so smart. I can just go off with my stuff for her. But the point is that, like, that I'm my favorite philosopher. What I mean is kind of really that, you know, people want to recommend the books to me all the time. Ask me about books or recommend books to me and that. And it's kind of like, you gotta realize, guys, when I started getting into what I do, didn't know much about training and stuff. Like, yeah, I consumed a lot of information. Sometimes I joke about books, you know, that reading books is stupid and a waste of time. It's like, because I want to make that point about, okay, like reading books is good, but like go do the thing in the book too. And then it's just been that for me personally, books as an adult, I read a lot as a kid, but as an adult, it's just not been my favorite medium. Audiobooks in that case, or podcasts, YouTube videos, that's what I prefer. So it doesn't really matter. But the point is that there was a time when I got heavy into theory of things too. But I did always go and apply what I educated myself about at the same time. And then with certain things, I just come to a point where it's like even information that I think is good and could recommend to other people. It's like, but why should I watch it? I know all this shit already. And you get to a point where you're such a master at your craft that it's like, you know, I don't have so much to learn from most people. And also, you just learn so much by doing because your philosophy is practical, right? So for instance, when you take the training, like I learned so much just from my own training, discovering things, noticing things, trying things, that it just all came from me at this point, right? I didn't have to go look at something or whatever, right? But also working with clients, both training people in person and online when I will be talking to them about training, but also on my elite program, you know, all kinds of things. It's this holistic self-development program, right? So we will be talking about like whatever that person needs to talk about, but you know, relationships, financial struggles, becoming a YouTuber, being insecure about this and that. It's like, I learned so much, both like just that I get more data about like training, seeing how people respond to things. But also I interact with people, I have these interesting conversations, you know, that I learned so much from. So, you know, I say that I'm my favorite philosopher because, well, I'm so interested in what I do and myself. Yeah, I think I have very interesting stuff going on, you know. But what I mean is like, apart from that, I'm so into what I do, but it's like, it's so practical. It actually is, you know. I talk here to you guys, you know, I share it with you guys, but everything I talk about, I do, you know. And I think it's like a point I want to make to people. Like the reason I'm thinking about this today, like even, let's see this, that what I bring to you here, it's not because it's from my experiences in life and me thinking and realizing, okay, I gotta tell the guys this, you know. So someone asked, it might have been for the Q&A live stream, but since several things made me think about this, I'll talk about it here. And to be clear, not putting this guy down here, there was nothing wrong with the comment, I just use it to make a point. So basically it was a question about like, do you recommend any philosophy books? Do you have any favorite philosophers? And it's hard for me, because I haven't read many books about that, but it's kind of like, you know, it's hard for me to not sound like rude when I answer, because what I truly feel is like, you know, I read as little as possible, but basically educate myself. I prefer to do, you know, I only take in the info I need to actually go and try something and figure things out for myself. And I'm a big fan of my philosophy, because guys, when you are a person like me, that actually, like you understand, I'm a coach and teacher, I'm creating my school of thought, my philosophy, you know, so I always have my philosophy, even when I take in ideas and perspectives from the outside. It's just that, yeah, maybe I say a guy, it's like, I agree with it, there are some new things for me, I agree with 80% of these things, now I take this, kind of shape it into my philosophy, all right? Yeah, and there was this other thing. I went to the sauna with a friend recently, and he had just read Jordan Peterson's book, and he just went on and on about, not just about the book, that's fine, I would love it, I haven't read it, I'm probably not going to, so great if someone will tell me a bit about it, but he was going on and on about how I need to read this book, you know, and people always want me to read stuff, and my question is just like, okay, why though? It's like, no, because, you know, I thought about you when I read it. I think you'd like it. And it's like, sure, but there are many drugs, and I'm sure I'd like the way I feel. What good would they do me? They would harm me, actually. The books might not harm me, but the point is that it's the intellectual masturbation thing again. It's like Jordan Peterson. Great example of someone that I'm like, yeah, great guy, you know, lots of good stuff. Many, especially guys younger than me, I would send them like, yes, go do that. Yeah, great, you read his book, but why should I do it though? It's like, I've been around for long enough, I've seen enough stuff with Jordan Peterson, I know his philosophy basically. And yes, I'm sure that if I read a book, it's going to be like, yeah, there's a bunch of smart stuff here. But it's not going to be something so new and profound that it's like life-changing for me. So really, it's just intellectual masturbation. I sit and kind of read a sort of echo chamber because I will agree with a lot of Jordan Peterson says, and just feel good that, yeah, I understand all these smart things here. And that's why I try to explain to this guy. It's kind of like, look, man, it's good that you read the book and you like it, but why, first of all, why don't you just tell me about it? You read it. Like, tell me the good points from it, right? He couldn't really do that so well. But the other thing is like, look, man, you read the book. I'm probably the one of us that embodies the most of what is in my life, right? I actually do more of the things Jordan Peterson is saying. You just read the book. This is a mistake people do again, like reading about it. That's not doing the thing. That's just reading about the thing. It's preparation, okay? The way I see it with philosophy, or any type of education, if you're watching YouTube videos about fitness, we're going to train, you hit the books or the YouTube video just enough to have something like, okay, and then you go, practice, try it out. You're going to learn a lot by doing. You can never learn just by being told something. The only true knowledge is from experience. Anything else is an idea, okay? But so you get something in, you go, experiment a little with that, and then, okay, we go back to the books or the YouTube video, like, okay, see, that's what it's supposed to look like. Let me just think a little. Well, I guess the point is, guys, that like philosophy is practical. I want you to embody things, and I want all of you to be little philosophers. And what I think of when someone is like titled a philosopher, of course they can, like, I don't know, get along with another person and agree and stuff. Whatever. I see it as a philosopher, they gotta have their philosophy, right? Maybe they got shards, aspects, you know, pieces that he put into it, and it's their philosophy. So that's kind of what I want. If you like reading more than I do, for instance, it's like great, but always see it as I'm here with my philosophy. I'm now going to check something here to find out, like, is there anything I can take from here, you know? But it's your philosophy, and you gotta do the things too, all right? It's like, yeah, and this is what becomes so silly, again, because so many people, they just talk. They just talk, they don't walk the walk. That's why it's so silly when people want to critique. It's kind of funny, there's a guy that follows this channel that's called Philosophysique. Of course, the play of the philosophy of physique, it's practical philosophy. You gotta embody it, right? But he recently came and like, this guy probably has the results, to be honest, but he wanted to like critique my form, and he did it in a nice way and all, but it was based on assumptions. He said some things where he thought, it's like, no, it's just not accurate. And it's kind of like, you know, I guess it's not the best example, because he meant well, and he's probably someone that does walk the walk. But basically, when people that, because they read something, oh, control the eccentric, you know, oh, why are you doing that? It's like, but you post-physique, bro. Like, let me see that I should take seriously. Why? Because it sounds like you just are parroting someone else's ideas. You don't have an own philosophy. Let me see your philosophy. Right? Then maybe I listen, but it becomes so silly when you're someone that, yes, I talk a lot on the channel, but like I said, I walk the walk. Everything I talk about, I do. Okay, so it becomes so just silly when people, a lot of people confuse walking the walk with talking the talk. Like, yeah, but I haven't quite walked all the way. I'm not as big as you or something, you know, but I know better because I've read a lot. No, you don't know shit, bro. Like, you find out you have a bunch of ideas. You think you know something, but you just think. You don't know. All right? Just thinking, I know there was something more I wanted to say. Well, I guess the last point I wanted to make is this also with education, because it is good. I'll never tell someone that never ever read, don't go looking for information, but in my book too, I'm big on like, use the gift of the internet, but don't get sucked into this fake motivation and thinking that just consuming information is taking you closer to your goal, because it isn't at a certain point. It can just be part of it. It cannot be all to it. But even when you think about like sources for you to learn, it's not just watching a movie, film, video, reading a book, listening to a podcast or whatever. No, you can learn from everything. You learn from what you do practically. At this point, you know, that's also what I mean. Most fitness content, even that I would think is good, it's just like, why the hell should I watch it? I don't need it, but I'll be happy if some beginner goes watching that. But that's what it becomes at a point. That's one of the reasons I wanted to start a podcast, apart from bringing good value to you guys. That for someone like me, that comes so far in my understanding of training and stuff, like, it's like getting to speak to someone like Jeffrey Verity Schofield. That's what I'm actually learning something. It's actually interesting, you know. It needs, the higher of a level you reach, the higher of a level the source of your like education or inspiration or whatever has to be. So that's what I mean. Also, when someone read the book, can you just fucking tell me about the book? Well, you make me read it, you know. So yeah, guys, I guess we'll end it here. Philosophy is practical, okay? Something you do. It's like, it's such a disgrace. Like, people love throwing these things around, like, no man has any right to grow old without seeing the beauty and strength his body is capable, or whatever Socrates said. It's kind of like, well, are you at or close to elite level in something physically? Then why the fuck are you talking about that? You know, it's like people love saying all the nice sounding words, because it feels like you're embodying that, you're actually living it. You know, now I'm getting fired up. It's like, it's another thing, but I think about, I'm not into following politics and being on social media and reading about the news and stuff now. But I remember times when I see on like Facebook, all these, you know, I have some aesthetic background, like I like musical. And you know, those people are always the worst when it comes to having their fucking opinions on the internet, you know. And so many of these people, I would see how they talk from so high up above, and they take the position of the virtuous good person, and I just know that, but you're like quite a nasty, like you're not a friendly, helpful person in real life. You know, being a nice person is not saying politically correct opinions on the internet. It's actually doing nice things for people. It's like when the whole you know, that glorified flu was going around and people wanted to take the shots and stuff. And I get treated as if I'm like selfish because I don't want to do that. It's kind of like, okay, so you think you're less selfish than me because you injected something into yourself. How are you helping people improve their lives? How are you helping people improve their physical and mental health? You know, I train people. I do that professionally, and a lot of my free time I help people with this too. It's not the only way, you know. I don't think any of that was legitimate anyway, but let's say it was. You know, the only way to look out for your fellow human beings' help is not just taking a shot. You can actually help them do things to become resilient, improve their immune system, and all of that too. But so many people are confused. Like, no, I had the right idea. I did the right action. The newspaper told me that I'm a good person if I do, so I am a good person. And don't really have to like actively help people or anything like that. That's not a good person thing. Having the right stance on things. That's how we do it. Okay, guys. Yeah, we'll see what the title is, but I had fun making this video. I hope something was interesting to you. It's like I can go on always, guys, but you know, I'll say this, if you've been following this channel for more than a few months and you still haven't gone to the gym, what the fuck are you even doing? It's like, get out of here. It's like, of course I want people watching my videos just from that selfish perspective. So, but honestly, I would prefer, it's great if someone can do the thing where they keep following someone a little bit while they're doing, you know, I'd love to have guys around like that. But honestly, I will be way more happy that someone came here, sucked in the information they needed from me, implemented it into their philosophy, and then went on about their life, looking for the next thing and keep improving in their way, over someone that's like, oh, I like the way Theo speaks, I think he's funny, or yeah, it's all good mindset, I will train one day, but never gets around to it. It's like, no, I prefer actually that you leave for your sake. Like for my sake, I want to have you around. Like the best of two worlds is that you do the thing and stay here too. But, you know, okay, guys, like and comment, and I do holistic bodybuilding coaching, getting jacked and stacked mentally, physically, spiritually, working on ourselves, body, mind, and soul, embodying that philosophy so that you manifest it. This is my philosophy manifested. You understand that, guys? Yeah. I don't know how this sounds now with a mic in my neck, but I have a training book too. Pick it up. It's in the description. Please subscribe for more content about fitness, fasting, losing weight, building muscle, self-improvement, sources, mental health, philosophy, spirituality, mindset. It is a mindset, guys. But the mindset, you gotta act with a mindset, okay? Peace.